wanted to ask Governor DeSantis about the deal, but he declined our request for an interview.
The criticism is that it's pay to play,
it's
Governor.
wrong. It's what you're saying is wrong.
How is that not pay to play?
That's a fake narrative.
This morning, concerns about a double mutant coronavirus variant in the U.S.
This is the first time this particular double mutant has been found in the United States.
Tell her to get out and disrespect Black Lives Matter. I'm here to tell you that's going to stop. Black women, y'all shouldn't even be in this store. He disrespects black women by calling them bitches. I know he called them bitches.
You know what? I haven't a care in the world, Alice. That's it. Today, the impossible happened. Thanks to you guys, an impossible Cinderella story came to fruition because the incredible audience, listeners, friends of ours for the Burn Barrel podcast family stepped up.
Children, friends, Discord servers.
Yes.
All kinds of people across America and across the world.
Some shady, some upstanding. You guys did it. Thank you so much. We somehow pulled up the upset of the century, defeated the Kirk Minahan podcast. My goodness, I don't know what to say, but thank you. It was incredible. Thank you all so much. I don't know how it happens. Thank you. It's at Blobe, Alice, on Twitter?
Yes, that's Blobe on Twitter.
The guy who held the, or I think it's Guy, who held the event on Twitter. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. I think it's only appropriate that we try to think of something special to do with people.
I agree. Maybe we'll do some kind of live stream or Zoom.
Yeah, but why is that special
Zoom
for people?
Call?
Shouldn't we, buy somebody a pina colada in person? One of our friends and listeners, JMK3, I don't know what he goes by, but we call him Jason in person, said, why don't you have a, virtual parties? That's one, if nobody shows up, that makes us incredible losers because they couldn't come up to a virtual party. At least if we have a party somewhere, we can say, nobody could travel.
Uh-huh.
And, two, I want to buy these people a beer or the equivalent of, Alice.
Okay.
Some of them may be in Sturdy Wings, like we're going to be again tomorrow after a brief reprieve. So thank you so much. We won the poll, unlikeliest of all events. Probably nothing to do with the fact that Kirk Minahan and the Minahan podcast is launching a huge true crime podcast today. And he's probably doing 100,000 interviews and has had no time to even know there was a contest. But these are the things you take advantage of when you're an insurgent guerrilla army. Mm-hmm. You know, you row across the Delaware silently and kill the Hessians at night.
As the Burn Barrelers are.
Yes. So well done, everybody. That was incredible and good going. Some personal news. Let me tell you something. Today, everything was fine. I got my second Fauci ouchie, as Alice calls it. Last night, it was the Pfizer shot last night, and everything went fine. It was actually wonderful. I tweeted about it. A great operation they have up in Amesbury, Massachusetts. And then it was wonderful, and I didn't even feel the shot, and it was just great. And then this morning, I felt great, and then 10 o'clock hit or something, and then I didn't feel great anymore. And it was weird. It wasn't. So I got the side effects from this thing today, and it wasn't it was like nothing I felt before. It was it wasn't like, oh my God, the flu's coming. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that it was so bad as it was so strange. I definitely had to take a nap and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I felt like I was, after I took a nap today, I felt like Han Solo after the carbon freeze. I was respawned. I didn't know what year it was, what had happened, if oh, damn, I didn't get the Hunter Biden cut. So I wasn't sure. But and this morning I felt good. And those of you, you can let us know if you've had side effects too and what they are, so you know. But this morning, the bad feeling was unlike anything I've ever had. It was weird. And like I say, I don't want to scare people away from getting the shot, but because it wasn't bad enough, but it was just weird. But it felt like an invasive toxicity. It felt like if I had taken a flight right now, Aeroflot, to Russia and taken then a bus to Kiev, and then we went to Chernobyl and somebody used the bolt cutters to break open the cafeteria that was closed in an emergency in 1985, and then we went to the microwave and grabbed a tuna sandwich that was still there all these years later and had been through everything in the last 40 years. It's as if I had scarfed that down in 30 seconds and chased it with a goblet of cat urine. That was how like
You're really selling the shot to people, honey.
no, it wasn't the taste. It was like how like jarred my body was from this weird invasive feeling that something was going on. But I'm okay. It's fine now. I am rested. I am hydrating, and we're back at it. We've got a lot to talk about. Not all that much time. Alice Shattuck has to go to the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, she's wearing her super cool, crazy ain't just Beyonce's husband T-shirt. Those are. Did you tweet that out?
Yes, I did.
Those are great. That is great. It's form fitting, Alice.
Mm-hmm.
It looks lovely upon your bosom.
Thank you.
Since you're my coworker, is that still gray area?
Talking to HR right now.
Oh. Thankfully, I'm HR, which makes us a kind of the firm. So today is a great day, and it's because of an unforced error in media. And what we saw with 60 Minutes last night was marvelous. You rarely in life get to see or get to catch a huge media organization attempting to perpetuate a fraud live, to see them craft a fraudulent story. Now, these happen here and there. A few years ago, Katie Couric had some gun rights people on, and she carefully edited their interview with the gun rights town hall to make them seem like wacko gun people. And they were smart enough to record it on their own, and so it exposed her for being totally fraudulent, which was great. And sometimes people know to do this. So here's the the 60 Minutes story, and this is, the reporter is Sharon Alfonsi. So this is so 60 Minutes. The point of the story is to say that Governor DeSantis in Texas,
Florida.
I'm sorry, Jesus, sorry. I'm going to have that happen here because I'm missing some DNA since my second.
The COVID shot can't change your
Since my
DNA.
second Pfizer LSD shot yesterday. So DeSantis, they've decided they're going to make this about DeSantis favoring rich people, donors, etc., in rich neighborhoods in Florida for the vaccine, using, what's the place called? Publix, the big grocery store down there.
Yeah.
As the vehicle to distribute the vaccine. The idea is that, he skated around communities of color, communities that were whatever, and took care of his buddies. And because Covix, there we go. Because because Publix donated money to him.
Right.
So 60 Minutes went down there and said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to say that this is a total,
Pay for play?
No, that's what she says. I don't want. That's called stepping on the lead, Alice. I don't want us to do that.
Okay.
I don't want to say.
It's a
Ben
total...
Shapiro does that all the time.
Okay, well, you seem to be grasping for
I am
words.
grasping.
So
he doesn't do that all the
trying
time.
to help you.
No, but it is. She's going to say paper for play, so I don't say. No, you wash my hand, I wash yours. Is that how that goes?
Like a quid pro quo?
Well, yes, but does the
you
wash hand
scratch
one
my
work?
back?
Is that?
Is it usually you
One
scratch
hand,
my back,
the other-
I'll scratch yours?
You know what I mean. Quid pro quo. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what they decide to do, including having her. They ask. You'll see that they can't get him to do a one-on-one interview. Smart of him. So they get him at a press availability, and they've got the two-shot camera on her. This tells you that this is a setup. They're showing her boldly asking the questions to him. Here's the 60 Minutes cut of this reporter putting him on his heels, or trying to, Sharon Alfonsi, for 60 Minutes, showing that this governor, this irresponsible, corrupt governor of Florida, not the governor of New York, they still celebrate, is fully corrupt and favoring friends and big money interests over the health of the citizens and residents of Florida.
We wanted to ask Governor DeSantis about the deal, but he declined our request for an interview. We caught up with him south of Orlando.
Publix, as you know, donated $100,000 to your campaign, and then you rewarded them with the exclusive rights to distribute the vaccination in Palm Beach.
So first of all, what you're saying is wrong.
How is that not pay to play?
That's a fake narrative.
So remember now, there are cameras on her because this is a theatrical event for 60 Minutes to show them bust this run-of-the-mill corrupt politician.
I met with the county mayor, I met with the administrator, I met with all the folks at Palm Beach County, and I said, here's some of the options. We can do more drive-through sites. We can give more to hospitals. We can do the Publix. And they said, we think that would be the easiest thing for our residents.
But Melissa McKinley, the county commissioner in the Glades, told us the governor never met with her about the public's deal.
The criticism is that it's pay to play,
It's
Governor.
wrong. It's wrong. It's a fake narrative. I just disabused you of the narrative, and you don't care about the facts because obviously I laid it out for you in a way that is irrefutable.
Well, I
and so it's clearly not.
Isn't there the nearest public to the Glades is
you're
30
wrong.
miles
You're wrong.
away?
You're wrong. Yes,
That's
sir.
actually a fact.
But the reason they went down there, the reason they flew her down there and the crew got set up and they specially lit a press conference, etc., was so that she could say this.
The criticism is that it's pay to play,
And it's
Governor.
wrong.
That's it. That's the money shot. You need her saying that to him. And then they'll do the rest. They'll fill in the rest of the background and indict him that way. And 60 Minutes will pat itself in the back. And you'll take down the DeSantis empire, who's emerged now as quite a powerhouse, in the face of their favorite, Cuomo, who started out as everybody's binky, of course, who's now selling merchandise and posters and a book. So that's the idea. Now, 60 Minutes, because I think a lot of this is because you've got more and more crews and producers, etc., are not, just haven't been around as long as some of the old timers.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, DeSantis doesn't give them the exclusive. He doesn't sit down with them.
Right.
He doesn't trust them. So they have to. So she has to ask her stand-up theatrical questions while she's well lit at a presser. So if they're at a press event, obviously there are other cameras rolling as well. So incredibly, they don't take this into account, and so the entire answer is available. This is after she just asked the question, so it's queued up to where he starts talking. So let me just start with her asking the question.
We wanted to ask Governor DeSantis about the deal, but he declined our request for an interview. We caught up with him south of Orlando.
Publix, as you know, donated $100,000 to your campaign, and then you rewarded them with the exclusive rights to distribute the vaccination in Palm Beach.
So first of all, what you're saying is wrong.
How is that not pay to play?
That's a fake.
Okay, so let me take it from, this is now the chunk, the bulk of the entire answer.
So first of all, what you're saying is wrong. That's a fake narrative. So first of all, when we did the first pharmacies that had it were CVS and Walgreens, and they had a long-term care mission. So they were going to the long-term care facilities. They got vaccine in the middle of December. They started going to the long-term care facilities the third week of December to do LTCs. So that was their mission. That was very important, and we trusted them to do that. As we got into January, we wanted to expand the distribution points. So yes, you had the counties. You had some drive-through sites. You had hospitals that were doing a lot. But we wanted to get it into communities more. So we reached out to other retail pharmacies.
All of this cut out from 60 Minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going back and forth with her standing up to him. All of this has been cut. All of this substance. How is this not pay to play? Well, he tells her for quite some time in detail.
Publix, Walmart. Obviously, CVS and Walgreens had to finish that mission. And we said, we're gonna use you as soon as you're done with that. For the Publix, they were the first one to raise their hand, say they were ready to go. And you know what? We did it on a trial basis. I had 3 counties. I actually showed up that weekend and talked to seniors across 4 different Publix. How was the experience? Is this good? Should you think this is the way to go? And it was 100% positive. So we expanded it, and then folks liked it. And I can tell you, if you look at a place like Palm Beach County, they were kind of struggling at first in terms of the senior numbers. I met with the county mayor, I met with the administrator, I met with all the folks at Palm Beach County, and I said, here's some of the options. We can do more drive-through sites. We can give more to hospitals. We can do the Publix. We can do this. They calculated.
So this answer is substantive. It is a fat answer full of facts, figures, and a timeline. There's a chance, and I've been with guys guys who have been around for a while in the media, where we've had media sniffing after us. When I worked for the Herald, for instance, outside media, Boston Herald, would sniff after us, and we could see what they were doing. We could see the way they were approaching certain people. We'd get together and say, somebody wants to go and have a glass of beer with me, wants to talk about this issue, whatever, but we knew that they were, sometimes you can sniff them out and see them coming from 100 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
I think the DeSantis circle said, we know what this is going to be. We know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
You've got media-savvy people in communications staff who say, they're going to make a short package out of this to clip you because they want you whacked because they want to take you out of contention for 2024. They want to do it right now. And so they might have said, okay, so this is what we do. When she asks a question, we give the most substantive, long-winded question that we can possibly think of. Wait for them to cut it and edit it, and then drop the bomb. And whether it happened like that or not, I'm not sure. But this is a devastating look.
That 90% of their seniors live within a mile and a half of a Publix. And they said, we think that would be the easiest thing for our residents. So we did that. And what ended up happening was you had 65 Publix in Palm Beach. Palm Beach is one of the biggest counties, one of the most elderly counties. We've done almost 75% of the seniors in Palm Beach. And the reason is because you had the strong retail footprint. So our way has been multifaceted. It has worked. And we're also now very much expanding CVS and Walgreens now that they've completed the long-term care mission. Yes? And it's wrong. It's wrong. It's a fake narrative. I just disabused you of the narrative, and you don't care about the facts because obviously I laid it out for you in a way that is irrefutable. And so it's clearly not. No, you're wrong.
The criticism is that it's pay to play,
And it's
Governor.
wrong.
That's why they went down there. That's why they spent probably $50,000 getting everybody down there,
Yeah.
getting all the production crew down there, working on this. They went down there. The story had already been written. The timeline had been written by CBS. It had already been finished. All they needed to top it off, was an exchange between a reporter and DeSantis.
Yeah, and they knew, too, that with him saying fake narrative, fake news, anything like that is going to immediately light up the alarm bells of all the Trump hysteria. Oh, my gosh, he said fake news. That's like Trump. That's bad. He's stupid. It's going to, bring up that association for people, which I'm sure is why they cut it like that. So they've apparently been investigating this with their investigative journalists at CBS for 3 months now. And so I'm sure, like you said, he knows that they've been sniffing around because they've been trying to talk to all the people. Like they said they talked to one of the county commissioners that supposedly he didn't talk to. But immediately after this came out, the county mayor, Dave Kerner of Palm Beach County, came out with a statement. He's a Democrat, by the way, so he's not like some big DeSantis booster just for party politics reasons, at least. And here's his statement. I watched the 60 Minutes segment on Palm Beach County last night and feel compelled to issue this statement. The reporting was not just based on bad information. It was intentionally false. I know this because I offered to provide my insight into Palm Beach County's vaccination efforts, and 60 Minutes declined. They know that the governor came to Palm Beach County and met with me and the county administrator, and we asked to expand the state's partnership with Publix to Palm Beach County. We also discussed our own local plans to expand mass vaccination centers throughout the county, which the governor has been incredibly supportive. We asked, and he delivered. They had that information, and they left it out because it kneecaps their narrative. We have confronted this pandemic for over a year. Our residents, like all Americans, are tired, and the media is making it worse. They are hell-bent on dividing us for cheap views and clicks. 60 Minutes should be ashamed. Thank the governor for supporting the residents of Palm Beach County. Because of his efforts working in coordination with Palm Beach County officials, over 275,000 seniors in our county, which is over 75% of the total senior population, have been vaccinated. I am proud of how our county and state leadership have executed on this important mission, and the results speak for themselves. It's hard to imagine a more blistering takedown of the entire premise. But believe it or not, it gets even worse because the whole premise is that they donated $100,000 to his campaign. They've been Publix did. So that's why he granted them this special contract. And so it wasn't because they're a huge grocery store chain in Florida, which is on average less than 5 miles away from every Florida resident. It can't be because of that. It's because they donated this huge $100,000 to his PAC, right?
Well, yes, I believe Sharon Alfonsi told me what that is.
The criticism is that it's pay to play,
And it's
Governor.
wrong.
So they also, Publix, donated $45,000 to his opponent. So, which they didn't somehow, in their 3 months of investigating.
They paid everybody to play.
In their 3 months of investigating, they failed to discover that, they also gave money to the other person.
They didn't find that out, huh? That is shocking. Man,
really,
that was
so some enterprising Twitter users took 30 seconds to look up the donation records.
Which is great, because she was
discovered
saying, according to our reporting, sir, it's like, you're reporting, you can just Google it. It's all public.
What have they been doing for 3 months investigating this, trying to get sneaky little interviews with everybody, and if they say anything positive,
They've been knocking on
they're
nursing
like,
homes
no.
and saying, is everybody here dead? Anybody? Is anybody? Because we're trying to, DeSantis is an a-hole. It's incredible to see this. I mean, this just goes to show you it's all theater, and this is just a CBS show.
Mm-hmm.
It's the CBS legendary show, which purportedly was on us for years. But entire networks are doing this. They're just storytelling. It's all reality TV.
It's utter malpractice. It's disgusting.
It's beyond that.
They also had to. I mean, this was CBS. Also had to delete their tweet because they were on their news reporting Twitter feed offering up ways to fight the Georgia law, which is just insanity. Which, I mean,
well, it's very much related though. What the media did in Georgia was very much what they're trying to do here.
Yeah, and they're absolutely just they're not reporting anything anymore in an honest way.
And I hate to say this because you hear a lot of cliches saying, a lot of bad talk radio say it, but they really are activists, with microphones. That's what they are. Some of them don't know. I'm sure Sharon Alfonsi thinks she's a reporter. She doesn't know anything.
Yeah, but it's just incredible the level that it's reached right now, where it's so incredibly dishonest. And I mean, I expect everybody has biases, right? Like every reporter. We know the reporters on Fox lean right. We know that's their thing. Like, we know that, although you have like Chris Wallace and people like that who are pretty down the middle, but he had
a bad last few months of the campaign, I think.
Everybody has internal biases that, shape what they think is happening. But the level that it's reached, especially, since the election, is just so insane to me. I mean, I could tell you, like, off the top of my head, like 5 more things that different places have reported in the last couple of days that are just insane and outrageous. Like, they've also said that there's proof that DeSantis was covering up COVID deaths because the excess deaths are higher than the official COVID numbers. Of course, they could also point out that every state has much higher excess deaths than the official COVID numbers because we missed a lot of COVID deaths in the beginning. And Florida is right in the middle in the average of the country for how much they undercut COVID deaths.
Florida's also packed with senior citizens, and also businesses were allowed to be open using their own discretion, and also schools were allowed to be open.
Right, and they're right smack in the middle of the country in terms of the percent of COVID deaths and excess deaths. So, and that just wasn't reported in the story. You have reporting on the Georgia law saying that, a plurality of people approve of the MLB's decision to move out of the state, but then you dig down into the numbers in the actual poll, and you find that 42% of people who live in Georgia actually support the law. And that's a plurality. It's much higher than the percent of people that don't support the law.
Right.
There's parts of the law that Stacey Abrams likes. She supported the switch from signature matching to writing your ID number on the ballot because it's less subjective and ballots are less likely to get thrown out with that. So the total lack of curiosity, the total lack of nuance, the desire to simply find a way to squeeze everything into a predetermined narrative that they've decided is the story is so toxic and dangerous. I mean, I have trouble seeing how we can continue to go forward with the media behaving in this way. Because it's absolutely,
I don't know.
It's corrosive.
Well, I mean, and also it's corrosive. But you've got to make a value judgment if you're somebody on the left and you see what happened here with DeSantis. You've got to make a judgment. And very rarely is such a moment provided to us because usually nothing's exposed as blatantly as this.
Right.
So now you have to decide, where do you want to be on this? Where do you want to be? I mean, what they did was remarkable. And they've also... Because this was supposed to be a nice, clean. It's like sending, Johnny Martorano down to kill the highlight guy, or over to kill the highlight guy. It was supposed to be a clean hit. You walk up to a parking lot, bang, 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 jump in your car, get rid of that car, throw the gun in the water, whatever. This was supposed to be a clean hit, and this was totally botched. The hitman got whacked in this one.
Right.
And people see this, and they say, not only does it engender empathy towards the governor, but it makes you want to jump in a foxhole with him.
Right.
Because he's fighting this constantly, dealing with this crap constantly. CBS is making a hero out of DeSantis. 60 Minutes is making a hero out of DeSantis. And you talk about somebody, if Trump was ever to step back and bless somebody, DeSantis just machine gunned the the lying media,
Right.
stylistically, and that's something that Trump would look at and absolutely enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's really, I saw a few people saying this, so I can't take credit for this as an original thought, but it's really interesting because the way CBS set it up to try and make him a Trump, just saying, oh, that's fake news, fake narrative, it's not real, you're lying, like, and cut out all the substance that he had to back that up, which Trump didn't usually have that. A lot of times he was actually right, but he didn't have at his fingertips all the information the way DeSantis did here, where DeSantis had facts, figures, timelines, information, receipts to back it up, who he talked to, what they said, the studies that they did to see how close the senior population lives to a Publix grocery store. The fact that they cut all that out to try and make him look dumb and look like he was just Trump saying, oh, lying media, and that was his whole answer, it's so interesting because it sets him up to be a Trump successor, because he did do the Trump shooting down. I mean, before even the whole video came out, people were going, wait, did CBS think this makes him look bad? Even when he called them the lying media right there. Like, even before all his facts and figures were there, people were going, like, does CBS really think this is some big gotcha? Because they didn't really, like, get him in any way on this. But then once you see the whole video, it's clear that it was absolutely just a hit job. That they just wanted to make him look bad, that they had zero interest in any of the facts that went into this. They had zero interest into why Publix was chosen to be a vaccination
You know what? He
provider.
Absolutely, and the rest of the media there, some of them are local panhandle publications, small town publications. They must have thought this CBS crew were a bunch of total jerks with big Klieg lights and big, the big production part of it.
We caught up with him outside Orlando.
Yes, feeling that they had a right. No, we're CBS. Rather than the St. Petersburg Times or other people who have a dog in the fight locally. No, yes, CBS. And you know what? DeSantis didn't have to take it. He wanted to take it.
Oh, yeah.
Because he said, you know what? I'm going to... And the other thing that's really humiliating for CBS is that not only did he have facts and figures and answer the question in such a comprehensive way that lifted any doubt that this guy was incompetent or that their charges had any validity, but he bested the news personality. Remember, she's supposed to be, sounds a little bit like pay for play, governor. That's supposed to be, that's striking a pose. That's the force of personality standing up. He wiped the floor with that personality. It was not good.
It's an embarrassment. I would have, if that happened to me and I was the 60 Minutes host, I would have said, we are throwing out this whole
I'd go to my editor
episode.
and say, never make me freaking do that again. Never make me do that again. To
But
go there
you
and
would
get
think,
beat on by this guy. Nobody saw this coming? Nobody thought that he'd be ready for us? Anybody? What are we doing here?
I mean, because they've been sniffing around for 3 months. You would think that they would have discovered in all their 3 months of investigative journalism that they were doing, searching up records and talking to county officials, that if they weren't just totally blinded by their own narrative of what they decided happened, that they would have seen that no pay for play happened, and that that anybody competent would be able to take down their whole little operation, their whole play that they were setting up to put on at the presser. You would think if they were smart, they would have, when they did all that journalism and reporting, that they would have said, I'm not going to go out there and ask that question because I can see that he's going to have answers to this. Because it's obvious. If the county did a study to see how close the seniors live to places, if you talk to the county officials and they said, no, it's not pay for play, he did a great job, it was awesome, why do you then want to go set yourself up for this absolute embarrassment?
Well, I think that they say, I think that the brass and the news department at CBS says, make it happen, make this story happen. And she wants to be famous and she wants to be at the anchor desk, even though it's just a beauty pageant, really, for men and women who want to be anchors. Like in this day and age, freaking, what are you doing? But I think she wants that, and that's how they get them. And it's wonderful. It was a good day for media that this happened. A lot of you may not have seen this. And I'll just play a little bit of it. In Milwaukee, an Asian nail salon with a bunch of Asian people working in the nail salon, including mostly women. One guy I saw, Black Lives Matter activists or Black Panther, or whoever they are. There's video of them walking in and threatening the people in the nail salon because they suggested that one of the nail people called somebody the B word.
Disrespect black women by calling them bitches. That's gonna stop. Do I make myself clear?
So they're all in black leather.
I know he called the police.
Probably 8 of them.
Coming up in here. How dare you disrespect a black woman? Then make fun of Black Lives Matter. We spend money in here. What's your name, sir?
There's
What's your name?
Petite Asian woman in front of them trying to communicate with them or trying to fend them off, but these guys are huge.
Black women, y'all shouldn't even be in this shop.
That's him yelling to black women who are getting their hands, or whatever that you do in that place where they paint
You get your nails did.
Right. Jesus.
That's what people say.
Look at him running hide. He running hiding. Disrespecting a black woman from our community.
He's running and hiding because a lot of Asians are getting punched in the head, sir.
Don't let nobody in here while I'm talking. All right.
Nobody's allowed in the business. Well, this guy
in the Black Panther jacket is talking
to an Asian business. He's holding them hostage inside the business, terrorizing these people who are probably scared for their lives. But this is absolutely fine.
What's your name? Are you the owner? Where's the owner?
He says to the 5'1" Asian woman just trying to do her job.
Right here? Well, I'll be back. Make sure you tell them we've been here, and you ever disrespect a black woman again, we're going to shut you down.
There you go. Well, there's some nice community relations in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes them more or less eligible to hold the All-Star game there. Hopefully Manfred can tell me. What else is going on, Alice? What else?
We have more terrific journalism and terrific, very sober, even-handed reporting on a new COVID variant that has appeared in California. It's an Indian COVID variant. But
whoa. This is nothing to scoff at, Alice.
A lot of attention on this Rangers-Blue Jays game, and it's not because of the matchup on this brand new field. As many as 40,518 fans could pack this ballpark. That would make it the largest gathering of people in this country in more than a year. But President Biden is already calling foul.
Get it? He's calling foul, honey.
You should feel ashamed. You're not as ashamed as Sharon Alfonsi, but Katie Hartung, you've got a choice when writing copy.
This morning, concerns about a double mutant coronavirus variant
in the U.S. Oh, my God.
The variant first discovered in India, now identified in the San Francisco area.
This is the first time this particular double mutant has been found in the United States, and it was found here at our Stanford laboratory.
This as COVID cases across the country climb, and fears of...
Now, hold on. Alice, a little clarity on the COVID cases climbing.
Well, I would assume because they set it up talking about the Rangers game that they're climbing in Texas, right? Wouldn't that seem to make sense based on how this package was set up?
COVID cases can climb all they want.
Mm-hmm.
Case, it's fine. Remember, the idea is not to die from COVID. So we are inoculating people right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
particularly the people most likely to die from COVID.
And more people are living their lives, doing what they want now. And the idea is that there was never a time when cases weren't going to climb.
Mm-hmm.
The idea was that we wouldn't have enough resources. And by the way, cases are climbing, but we have, and I get this from the commentary guys today, over the weekend Sunday, I think there were 300 nationwide deaths from COVID, which is
It's like a 90% drop from over the winter.
Yes, we got to send Max back. Hold on, you say something.
So basically,
let me continue with playing this audio, and so then we'll send the neighbor
Okay,
home.
that's so smart.
The fourth wave are growing, even as more than 106 million Americans have received at least one dose of the vaccine.
It's kind of like a race between getting people vaccinated, and the more people on a daily basis you get vaccinated, the better chance you have of blunting or preventing that surge that we're all concerned about.
Millions of Americans are now heading back home from the Easter holiday after families gathered for Easter celebrations outdoors.
I'd much prefer being inside in on a pew, so you can express yourself more. But it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing.
And at masked and socially distant services. The nation's daily case average up nearly 20% in the last 2 weeks. Experts fearing the spread of variants will only accelerate it, like in Massachusetts, where there are more cases of the Brazilian variant than anywhere else in the country.
If we don't control COVID-19, that gives the virus opportunities for new mutations to arise. Now is not the time to let our guards down.
And as sporting events welcome fans back.
How about go fuck yourself, okay? How about that? How about that? You know, now is not the time to let our guards down. We didn't let our guards down. We were given a deal. We're done. We're done. We're getting inoculated now. We're moving on. You don't have to let your guard down. You can stay in, and Biden can stay in. You don't have to go to any baseball games or anything like that. I'll never go to a baseball game, probably. You don't have to do that. We're moving on now. We're going to live now. Now is not the time to let our guards down. No, you handle it. The idea was that you needed to not have a surge that would overrun the hospitals. You've had a fucking year to have enough shit in the hospitals so that nothing would be overrun now. So screw you and screw the freaking idiot Fauci. I am done. I am done with these people.
He says, by the way, that we're never going to shake hands again.
Believe me, man, you invite that guy onto TV, he will do more than shake your hand.
He's gonna have a new kids show on Nickelodeon too, by the way.
Don't say that. Alice? I will put my mouth on the exhaust pipe of our burnt orange, decrepit minivan right now and breathe in for 2 straight hours.
COVID could spread there too. 23-year-old Alabama basketball fan Luke Ratliff dying from COVID complications after attending the NCAA tournament in Indianapolis last week. This as the Texas Rangers prepare to welcome a packed stadium.
Okay. No, anyway, the Rangers had the packed stadium today. I assume it was a super spreader event. Everybody's dead.
So they had the packed stadium, which does not really seem to me to have anything to do with a double mutant COVID variant in California, or the fact that out of the top 10 metro areas with the biggest growth in COVID over the last couple of weeks, 7 out of those 10 are located in Michigan, with a very responsible governor who's been locked down a lot. So I can't imagine what the Texas Rangers game has to do, how that happened today somehow caused there to be more cases in Michigan. And by the way, if you're worried about the double mutant COVID variant, then maybe you'll feel better to know that what the news package there didn't tell you about the double mutant COVID variant is that the CDC does not consider it a variant of concern. There's zero evidence that it's more virulent than wild-type COVID. There's zero evidence that it's more transmissible. And the vaccines appear to work against it. So...
right. So it could be a double... it could be a double-winded, triple-winged, green-eyed, the quadruple-breasted variant. It doesn't matter.
Right. When you have a variant that isn't stopped by the vaccines and that kills more people than the current variant, then we can talk. But you don't have that. So don't start with me about new variants and how we have to stay locked down. Tom has now had his second shot. In a couple weeks, I'm going to have my second shot. And then I'm throwing away my masks, and I'm going to do what I feel like doing, because I am not a risk to anyone anymore. So just to clarify to Fauci and everybody else, that's how this is going to go.
Yes, we're not playing the game anymore. We're done. Thank you. It was great. It was fun. Didn't seem, as far as I know, to have it benefited anybody. It seems to have caused more damage, but thanks a lot. Thanks for your tryout, CDC and epidemiology, Fauci outfit where they pay you $400,000 a year to go on TV. Thanks, guys. You had a big disease come. Heck of a job. Thanks. That's great. Jesus. And they're yelling at us. Guys, we missed the disease. We didn't have the testing. We don't have any of the stuff. I make $400,000 a year. It's your fault. You can't play anymore. Go in. No more Rangers games. Yeah, screw you. Screw you, incompetent, bureaucratic government morons. I am done with you. God, they suck. Ugh. God. So what else is it? Is that it, Alice? Do you have to go soon?
Good times. I do have to go pretty soon, but we have another couple minutes. Let me just...
Hey, did I ever tell you that, I told you the story of, considering I talked about cat urine, the story of when I did that job before concerts.
Mm-hmm.
Before concerts, where I would do the TDK challenge and show people how TDK tapes were better than CDs.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd hang out with some other vendors, etc. in the front. It was a good time. But do you know what CD I got from that? Because the Bodines were playing in Boston.
Okay.
You probably haven't heard of the Bodines.
No.
I hadn't then either. They were playing in Boston, and they had a special guest with them, playing with them. And do you know who that special guest was, Alice?
The Dropkick Murphys?
No, they weren't even probably formed.
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint.
Matthew Sweet?
Exactly. That's where I got this single. They gave me a single of Divine Intervention.
Wow. Very
it just
cool.
occurred to me. I'm still having psychedelic.
Good. Good. You were a little wild on this show yesterday too.
I noticed that. I sounded like I was coked up. I was not coked up.
You were
I'm
just
sorry that
coked up on COVID antibodies.
Yeah, before I crashed today.
So anyway, did you get Hunter Biden or no?
No, let me throw it.
I can tell people.
It's about the hookers, right?
Yeah, basically he says he has no recollection of any encounter with the woman who has his baby. He's a stripper by trade, and he claims to have no idea. He does not remember ever seeing her. So that's great. I personally believe, this is not a theological pronouncement, but it just, in my personal opinion, I think that there is probably a special place in hell for men who try not to take responsibility for children that they have.
On my hands and knees, picking through rugs, smoking anything that even remotely resembled crack cocaine. I probably smoked more Parmesan cheese than anyone that you know, I'm sure, Tracy.
Because there'd be crumbs
maybe we
mixed in. And
go a different route, Hunter.
Yeah. I mean, I went one time for 13 days.
He is his father's son, man. He's on this roll, and he thinks it's winning. He can't stop.
Without sleeping. And smoking crack and drinking vodka exclusively throughout that entire time.
At least he's bringing it to the interview, I gotta say. Holy God. Wow. I do respect him for liking Parmesan cheese, I gotta say.
Although in our house we don't smoke it, we just eat it on pasta and other dishes. What else is going on in the world? Thandie Newton is revealing her real name.
Oh, who's Sandy Newton?
Thandie Newton. She's an actress. She's the actress on Westworld. She's black. Do you know who she is?
No.
She was also in Crash, actually. But anyway, she's an actress. She's very lovely. I've always liked her whenever she's in things. Turns out Thandie Newton is her stage name. That was an accidental typo of her real name. And her real name is spelled almost the same, but it has a W in it in between the I and the E of Thandie, and it's pronounced Tandiwe. And that's her real name. She says, "That's my name. It's always been my name. I'm taking back what's mine." So she's been disrespected in the industry. We've all been giving her name wrong, I guess, for years. She's taking it back.
Every other third person in Hollywood has changed their names.
So,
did it because
she was oppressed.
Michael Keaton used to be Michael Douglas?
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. John Wayne was Marion Morrison.
Oh.
Everybody changes their names in Hollywood. Sandaway, all right? Take it easy.
Tandiwe.
Take it easy. Tandiwe, all right?
Okay.
Oh, God.
So, in other news, a Portland high school has changed their name from the Woodrow Wilson High School to the Ida B. Wells Barnett High School, named after prominent black activist and reporter who documented lynching. They were all set to pick their new mascot. They did a bunch. They had submissions. They chose a select few. They had a commission to look at it, and they chose evergreen trees. Evergreens are characterized by the life-giving force of their foliage, the strength of their massive trunk, the commission wrote, and the depth of their roots. In an individual tree and as a forest of trees, they provide shelter and sustenance. They have histories that preclude us and will continue in perpetuity.
And they're like, okay, everybody.
After
that is anodyne enough, right? Nobody has a problem with evergreen. There can't be a problem. It's just simply a tree that's green that has pine cones. I don't think there's anything symbolic about that. It should be fine.
But Tuesday, director Michelle DePass shared community concerns of an unwanted correlation between Ida B. Wells, the historic black activist and Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist who documented and crusaded against lynching, and a tree, which could conjure up reminders of hanging people with ropes from branches. I'm wondering if there was any concern with the imagery there
for Christmas
in using a tree as our mascot. DePass asked the renaming and mascot committee. I think everyone comes with blind spots, and I think that might have been a really big blind spot. So they are back to the drawing board on that for their school mascot. They tried. They thought they had it
Guys,
locked
we picked
down.
the most boring. I mean, we were gonna be cheering on the evergreen trees at the basketball game. We can't do that. What can there be? What can there be? Like antimatter?
Well,
is there something that cannot correlate to race? Because it can't be something in the galaxy, because the first black astronaut did not come around until decades after the white one. So
right.
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I mean, that's why you have the Washington football team, right? And why the town we used to live in, when they got rid of the Red Raiders mascot, they just became the Melrose big letter M with no mascot.
Yes, don't ask the question, team. Exactly.
The Melrose M's. Look out. Here they come. So that's unfortunate.
And now Wakefield's getting rid of the Wakefield Warriors, Wakefield mascot, because the Warriors you can't have that.
Which they had a mascot of a Native American that was designed by a Native American who lived in the town. So that's
because they made good warriors, so you want to emulate them in competitive sports.
No,
so
not allowed. Nope.
So the evergreen tree is now canceled. That's great.
So that can't be done. In other news, the Daily Mail UK, this is not being reported as far as I can see in the US yet, but the Daily Mail UK is reporting that the two teens accused of carjacking and killing the Uber Eats driver, Mohammed Anwar, they have reached a plea deal with the prosecutor, ensuring they will not be held past the age of 21 or placed in a prison facility.
Well, sorry, Mohammed.
So
you came at the wrong time, my friend. I'm sorry. You
bad.
thought you were coming to America. No, that was something in the past. You're coming to an experiment in idiocy. Rest in peace, Mohammed. You were too good for this particular time in this country. All right, Alice, let's wrap it up. You got to go to the warehouse, right?
I do. I'm heading out. So we'll see you later, but you can talk to us in the meantime on Twitter at BurnBarrelPod or on Facebook.com/BurnBarrelPodcast.
Once again, thank you, everybody.
Thank you for our huge, huge victory, crowning us the #1 podcast in the world. You can also check us out on YouTube. That's Tom Shattuck's Burn Barrel is the name of the YouTube channel there. And you can send us an email too. That's burnbarrelpodcast@gmail.com. We're also on Gab and Parler.